What is up with it to the people? It's Jonathan on the mic, here with my good friend who dropped. Not going to talk about his games, because I'm sure they were pretty embarrassing. But here we have a really good round for you guys. We're going to have Kazi Rahman versus Jeremy Rodrigues, Serapis VGC versus Awakened City, I think. Kazi's part of like what I've come to think of in New York City as like belonging to the Josh Lorsey crew. He hangs out with Josh Lorsey, Walter Morales. They all joined playing Pokemon around the same time, and I didn't think much of them when they started playing PCs. I was like, oh, who are these new kids?
Yeah.
They probably think they're good. Just because you beat me once doesn't mean that you're good at Pokemon. But they've really started to show results. Kazi this year, I think he cut the first regional in Philly, Lancaster regionals, with a Darmanitan. He got put on, he was on NPA, he beat me in NPA. I don't think he cut Nats, but he got an invite to Day 1 Worlds, and, he made it to Day 2 Worlds. So, he started to have some good results. I think, next year we might see, the truly groundbreaking, regionals top 2, nationals top cut type of performance. Kazi he has a couple things to, work out in his game, but I think he can, be really good.
Yeah, Kazi's also one of these players that stuck to Primals most of the season. He started off the season playing a lot of
boy.
The Big Six variants,
Boy.
and he ran that up until like the second or third set of regionals during the year. But ever since then, he's been running the Primals core, and something he and another one of the New Jersey players, Scott Morris, kind of stuck to was the triple speed control Cresselia. So we see that.
Yeah,
again today.
his Icy Wind Cresselia was actually really important for me because like Rajan, Blarajan, and Nails started to use like Icy Wind Kyogre, like along with Icy Wind Cresselia, but it was kind of a joke. But like after I lost to Kazi in NPA because he had Icy Wind Cresselia in the Primals mirror, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't lose these types of games. Chucked Icy Wind Cresselia on, boom, top 16 UK Nats, got Tansley top 4 UK Nats. Icy Wind Cresselia was really, really big, and like I was really impressed that he thought of it, like especially in consideration with Primals. On the other side, we have Jeremy Rodrigues. I think he started Masters. I knew he was playing in Philly regionals and Masters in the 2014 year, but 2015 season.
Yeah.
So he made top cut. It was a top 16 cut. He lost to Mr. Fox, I think, in the first round.
Yep.
He was like 15th seed, and Mr. Fox was 2nd seed. Mr. Fox, old seniors player. I think he won a regional since then with
Yes, he did.
that Assault Vest Heatran, Sunny Day Sableye, Whimsicott, Poison Jab Terrakion team. He uses some funny stuff.
This looks to be one of the more standard-ish teams that he's going to be running today. We do see the classic Yveltal Groudon team with some of the common Xerneas answers like Gengar, Mega Gengar, and
Thundurus, Trick Room, stuff like that.
Yep.
I do remember that he uses teams similar to this at Worlds, but I think he had a Play Rough Klefki. I was a bit scared. I was like getting some of that info on the down low. I think he beat like Jive Time one of the first couple of rounds. Managed to make it out. So he's definitely a player to be scared of, even though he does tend to use some interesting team choices.
Yeah. Today it doesn't look like he's using anything too out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
maybe a moveset or two, but besides that, maybe one item here or there. But like otherwise, a pretty standard team.
This looks pretty common to me.
Yeah.
But also like important to note, we're also seeing Yveltal versus Primals. So okay. Yeah. So what we're gonna see Yveltal versus Primals, and I've played this matchup a lot. It looks worse than it really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially, it might be bad for Kazi's team, but, I find if you have something like an Amoonguss, for example, it's going to be good. And so we're going to see the teams coming up right here. Serapis on top with the Gengar, Yveltal, Kangaskhan, Thundurus, Groudon, and Cresselia. Kazi, you don't see him, but he's on the bottom with Groudon, Cresselia, Scizor, Kangaskhan, Thundurus, and Kyogre. So, what do you think about Yveltal versus Primals? You've played Primals a bit this year, right?
Yeah, just a bit.
You need to talk a little bit louder. They can't hear you.
Talk a little bit louder? Okay, guys. So looking at the teams, we have to ask first, of course, how is Kazi going to go about beating the Yveltal, since we're definitely the biggest threat on Jeremy's team here. Looking at Kazi's team, he does have the Thundurus, he does have Kangaskhan, which outspeeds it and can do a lot of damage to it.
And he does have the Groudon. So what I was thinking when I was constructing my Worlds team was the way you beat teams that have Groudon on them is you get some speed control up, and you Eruption. You Fire Punch. You get those strong fire attacks off. And he does have the Thundurus to Thunderbolt the Yveltal, but he also has Paralysis. He can make it slower. And when Yveltal's going slow, hit it. It's not doing that much. It doesn't have a lot of bulk.
Looking at Kazi's team, he also probably has the Thundurus that you want to have if you're playing Yveltal Groudon. So he does have looks like the HP Water there, so he does have options for both restricted mons and Thunder Wave, of course, for Kangaskhan on the field. Doesn't look like he has an Intimidate to keep it alive though. So
we are going into it. So on the bottom is going to be Kazi. On the top is going to be Serapis. Serapis issuing a challenge, going to send out Aomine and Morgina, the Yveltal and Kangaskhan, a really strong lead. And we're going to see Scizor and Kangaskhan coming out from Kazi. That's really interesting. So normally when I see Scizor, I expect it to be used to be, Xerneas. Rayquaza. He's bringing it into Yveltal. I don't know, man.
Yeah, in this situation, I don't really think there's much you can do. But looking at the rest of Jeremy's team, I'm not really sure what Scizor really was going for. I can throw bullet punches out of either the Kangaskhan or the Yveltal right now. He does have knockoff, so but nothing really to knock off here.
Yeah, this is so we are going to see Kangaskhan Mega Evolving, Kazi revealing, with the 181 HP that he's probably timid, jolly. It's probably jolly. And Serapis is Kangaskhan Mega Evolving, maybe getting a bit of information if he knows what his speed tier is. And neither of them going for Fake Out. We do see the Bullet Punch going into the Kangaskhan, doing reasonable amount of damage. Foul Play coming out from Yveltal, though. Going to go into that Scizor. Oh,
wow.
Barely missing the knockout, revealing its own life orb. And the speed tie goes in Kazi's favor. Wins the speed tie, gets the low kick. That's like a Kangaskhan that's not there anymore. Doesn't even get to attack. That's massive for Kazi.
So yeah, looking at Kazi's team here, I don't think he has much that outspeeds the Kangaskhan besides the Thundurus, and that's something he really has to preserve in this matchup. So I guess I kind of see you have the Scizor out there, you can Bullet Punch, so you can double into the Kangaskhan turn one without the Kangaskhan moving if you are fortunate enough to win that speed tie, but definitely a risky play, I think.
It's also interesting because I'm not sure he's even bringing the Thundurus in the back. Because if you have Scizor, I want to bring both my primals to have, any type of damage output.
Yeah.
But he brought Scizor instead of Thundurus. So, a really interesting choice. He really needed that to pay off. And, Scizor surviving might not have even been the best outcome. But he's in a good position here. Kangaskhan outspeeding the Yveltal. And, normally most Yveltal teams often have a timid Groudon. So, maybe if he wants to, he could switch in Kyogre here if he, is feeling really good about that. Or, just get a safe double edge off onto that Groudon. You might also see Bullet Punch from Scizor go into that. Oh, my God. Yveltal does so much damage. And so we do see the Bullet Punch go into that Yveltal. Going to do 30%? 30%. And Kangaskhan is going to go for the double edge. Going to target down the Groudon slot, predicting that Eruption. Going to do slightly over half. And almost knock itself on recoil and reveals the Precipice Blade. It's very interesting. So most Yveltal teams, you try and get, hyper aggressive. Eruption is the name of the game. Yveltal's kind of there to support the Groudon in that way. Taking out a couple of Pokemon so Groudon can get the eruptions off. But, we see that this Groudon chooses to go for Precipice Blades. Very interesting. And so, Kazi does sound as the last two Pokemon. He's not going to timer. This game's too short. You're going to see a Groudon and the Kyogre Primal Revert. Groudon being faster outside of Trick Room. So the rain is going to be up. But, maybe not for long.
Yeah. Kazi did not bring either forms of speed control this game, which is kind of odd, seeing that he does have two slower primals than the Yveltal here. So he's definitely relying on that Kangaskhan and on that
Scizor.
That damage output on the Yveltal. But as we see, both of them went down before the Yveltal was taken off the field, and now Jeremy looks like he's pretty free. He can switch out the Groudon here depending on what he has in the back. He can always just...
Well, he doesn't have the Kangaskhan anymore, and I don't think he would bring the Gengar. So my guess is Jeremy either has the Thundurus or the Cresselia, and I would expect it to be the Cresselia. I like skill swap against, primals, I think that skill swap is really good. Jeremy is running a slow Cresselia, so, we might see the Groudon switch out into the Cresselia.
If it is the Cresselia, he can just switch into Cresselia and get a Trick Room up and then hit skill swap, and I don't think either Prime will be able to touch him.
So, do you think he's going to... So, I think what Jeremy might do is switch into Cresselia and protect, yeah?
He could protect. He could also just get the damage output since if he doesn't...
Oh, he could protect next turn with it.
Yeah.
Okay, and so he does switch into Cresselia, gonna, protect his... And Kazi protects his Groudon, not wanting to take a faster Precipice Blades. Foul play, gonna go into the Groudon. What a fantastic read from Kazi. Gonna get that Origin Pulse off. Almost certain, if it hits the... Oh, and it hits both of them, that's gonna do pretty solid damage to Cresselia and does knock out the Yveltal. So, Sun's back up.
Yeah, I definitely like that play from...
Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, I like that play from Kazi, though, because your Groudon can't Fire Punch in the rain here, so it'd have to be using something like Rock Slide to actually do damage that turn. You can't P-Blaze, there's nothing to P-Blaze on the field if you are predicting the Crest to switch in. So you just take the Protector with your own Groudon so you can assure that you don't take damage here. And did he double into the Crest? Because that looks like the best play.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's probably... And so we do see the Fire Punch going into the Cresselia. It depends on how this Cresselia was trained in the sun. Critical hit! Gonna seal... Well, it's not over. It's not over. So, in this position, I Fire Punch and Ice Beam the Groudon. I think that's a very safe play.
Yes.
For Kazi. But if Jeremy get... Oh, and that's really important. So... Kazi reveals that his Groudon is faster and that his Kyogre is slower.
Wow, yeah.
So that's a big deal. Going to see that damage output. Probably a physically invested Groudon. I know my Groudon had no physical attack, and it did very little damage to opposing Groudons. But this one did 75% in spread move, so, some good information for Kazi. Jeremy, not forfeiting... Also needs that information, needs to know where the speed tiers are.
Yep.
And good game from Kazi, well played. The Groudon Protect was very strong.
Yep. So game 2, I mean, Jeremy might want to just go back to a Trick Room option.
Kazi won. Oh, Kazi won. Love you, Jen.
But yeah, Jeremy opted to bring Trick Room in the back for game 1, and I'm not sure if maybe just getting a faster start with Trick Room and just start skill swapping around before the primals can just do too much damage and before he can just get going, and then have the Yveltal in the back to maybe just do solid damage output. But
that might have been why Kazi was bringing Scizor in the front.
Yeah.
To prevent an early Cresselia from getting its damage off. Scizor, one of the best Pokemon against non-hidden power fire, Cresselia. 2012 throwback, boys. No, so I think if I'm Kazi, I might bring my Thundurus instead. But on the other hand, if I don't have ways to deal with Trick Room with that, my Thundurus, Kazi's Thundurus doesn't seem to be that good at dealing with Cresselia. So, that might not be the best for him. He might be, a bit scared of that Trick Room option in the early game.
Yeah.
So, you think we're going to see a Cresselia in the front?
I think that'd be in Jeremy's best interest for this game.
Okay. And we're going right into it. Serapis issues the challenge. And we do see the same exact lead. The Kangaskhan, the Yveltal, saying, maybe if I don't lose that speed tie, game goes really different. Kazi does opt to bring the Thundurus. Not scared of the Trick Room in the front. Knows that Thundurus is really good against Yveltal because it's fast. Got that strong Thunderbolt. And so, going for Kangaskhan for the fake out. What do you think about this lead position?
Yeah, I think this game, Kazi realizes that he can kind of just go out there with Thundurus. He doesn't have to worry about the Crest, and if the Crest were to beat him this game, he could always go back to decision for a game 3. But with the game lead, he can just go ahead right with the Thundurus, which is so well against Jeremy's
Kangaskhan,
team.
Yveltal as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the specific lead. And so we do see the Mega Evolution happening. We do see Jeremy's Mega Evolve first, so it is a speed tie between the Kangaskhan's. Will we see a fake out? Kazi does go for the fake out, fakes out the Yveltal. Gonna try and put a little bit of early damage on, put it into Thunderbolt range, and just Thunder Waving the Kangaskhan, covering his bases, playing very safe. An understandable play. He didn't want to make reads, and we do see the power-up punch coming out from Jeremy's Kangaskhan, gonna boost its attack to unprecedented levels of +2. Very high.
Okay, so something very, very important to know here as far as Calcs go. He's definitely in Sucker Punch range from either Mon, so Kazi's definitely aware of that.
For both of, so I think the Kangaskhan's in the Sucker Punch range for each one, right?
Yes.
But the Thundurus is only in Sucker Punch range for the Kangaskhan.
Kangaskhan, yes.
Probably. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know my Thundurus calcs, but I think it is focus stuff, so. It's interesting, because the Kangaskhan's slow, but there's a lot of priority coming out from Jeremy's side.
Yeah. I kind of want to see from Kazi something like a Sucker Punch and maybe a Thunder Wave.
Oh, and there's a Fake Out coming out from the Kangaskhan, predicting the Sucker Punch, gets the Sucker Punch read onto Kazi's Kangaskhan, goes for the knockoff with his Yveltal onto the Thundurus. What a play from Jeremy. Knowing that Kazi would want to get that Sucker Punch, prevent the Sucker Punch from Jeremy's Kangaskhan. Jeremy knows that the Dark Aura would put a lot of pressure on him. And, you know, maybe he doesn't know his damage calcs that well, doesn't know what item the Thundurus is. Opts to go for the Fake Out. Really strong play, able to put the Thundurus down to Sash. Oh, and we're just going right into the next turn.
I like that Thunder Wave a lot.
So Thundurus goes for the Thunder Wave on Yveltal, going to make it slower than both of the Pokemon. Kangaskhan goes for the Sucker Punch again, makes the right read.
Is it enough?
No, it's not enough. But he fails the Sucker.
He double suckered. Oh man.
Okay. I mean, that's an option. Kazi's position here is really good.
Yeah.
Kazi's position here is really, really good.
But
so
is he going to continue to keep calling Sucker Punches though? If he,
so I think what you because paralyses can just happen. So I think here Kazi's free to go for a Sucker Punch onto the Kangaskhan, Thunderbolt onto the Yveltal.
Yeah.
Jeremy can read into that, but there's not much he can do. You know, 75% of the time, Kazi wins that play anyways. If Jeremy makes the correct call of Fake Outing, and even if he does, he's not doing anything with the Kangaskhan. Can't even switch out, because if it comes in the back, it's still paralyzed, still has 1 health. It's not going to provide any pressure. I think, you know, oh, and we do see Kangaskhan fail to go for Sucker Punch. Kazi not opting to go for Sucker Punches this turn. Or maybe it was a Fake Out. I mean, like, maybe that was a Sucker Punch, maybe it was a Fake Out. We'll never know. Kangaskhan just going for the Double Edge. Straight into the Yveltal. Gonna knock it. Oh, with the critical hit that didn't matter.
Yeah,
that was that paralysis, depending on what that Kangaskhan was going for, that was really important.
Yeah. If that was, in fact, a Sucker Punch into Kazi's Kangaskhan, that would have been Jeremy's best way to get back into this game. But with that full para, it's looking pretty bad for him right now. It depends on what Kazi decides to bring in here.
So Kazi decides to bring in Groudon, understands that, you know, he doesn't want to lose the speed wars with his Kyogre. And so in this position, and Jeremy decides to send in the Cresselia. So in this position, I
think there's a pretty clear play here.
What would you do?
I'd probably Sucker Punch the Kangaskhan if I'm Jeremy and go for Trick Room, because then you guarantee get the Trick Room up with your Cresselia, and then you can work on kind of come back by just sweeping with a Skill Swap Groudon on the back.
I think if I'm Kazi, I go for Rock Slide Sucker Punch. Or I double the Crest with Double Edge Fire Punch and hope that Kangaskhan gets paralyzed.
Yeah.
I think those are the 2 best plays. Or you could switch out into Kyogre and Rock Slide. And Jeremy does decide to switch out his Kangaskhan, knows that he might want the Fake Out pressure in the back.
Yep.
And that there's probably not going to be a Double Edge targeted into the Kangaskhan this turn. So if Kazi does decide to Double Edge, the game could just be over right now.
If this is a Double Edge into the Cresselia and a Fire Punch, it would be interesting to see if it can
and
actually KO.
Kazi does go for the Sucker Punch, not reading into that. The Fire Punch does go into the Cresselia, going to do quite a bit of damage, but the critical hit did matter last game.
So from here, it kind of just matters on how much, like, it's going to be a skill swap almost definitely here in P-Blades, I'd assume. He's got to keep the Cresselia alive long enough to skill swap when the Ogre comes in, which I think he should be able to do from this position as long as he's able to hit the Kangaskhan.
Yeah. I could also see something like a skill swap Sword Stance, predicting Kangaskhan to go for a Sucker Punch and Groudon to go for a Fire Punch onto the Cresselia, I don't think that would lose him that much, and it would put him in a really strong position to take the game, not just the turn.
The only problem is if he skill swaps here, which he doesn't.
Oh, he just Ice Beams. He just Ice Beams the Groudon. And Precipice Blades. Kangaskhan does get knocked out, but Groudon doesn't. Probably predicting Kazi not to go for the Precipice Blades. Onto Cresselia. Groudon does go for Fire Punch. Fantastic read from Jeremy. And it doesn't knock out the Cresselia. No critical hits, no burns. Citrus Berry is going to activate. You know, that crit last game did really matter.
That was a huge play from Kazi there from Jeremy there, because of the fact that if he skill swapped that turn, then he'd be forced to skill swap this next turn, taking Levitate back off of Groudon, and now he's able to keep Levitate on.
No, he wouldn't have. Because you can just skill swap the Kyogre.
You could, but would he see that?
Would he?
Would he see that?
Would he? He could have.
He could have.
I mean, if he saw if he looked into that, if he saw that play, I think he could see skill swapping the Kyogre. I don't know. Skill swap is
But skill swap on the Groudon, like,
or
you have to see at least one of those plays though.
Yeah, I mean, those were the play he went for was pretty good, but on the other hand, you know, it was safe as well, because I mean, I guess, you know, Kazi went for double edge because he knew that he needed the damage if he was going to win this game, and Jeremy decides not even to skill swap, just to switch out the Groudon. Interesting play, but Kazi does go for the protect, probably going for. Oh, he's going for an Origin Pulse, gonna hit at least one of them. Gonna land on both of the Pokemon. Unnecessary critical hit on the Kangaskhan, and Jeremy's thrown away most of his lead.
Yeah.
However, Jeremy's Groudon is still slower than Kazi's Groudon. So I think in this position, I would go for a double protect on my Groudon if I was Kazi. Just to, you know, try and get out of Trick Room, and probably go for Ice Beam.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you don't pray hard enough, Jeremy doesn't pray to the gods of Pokemon. Like, he might end up, you know, just going out 2-0. Doesn't even protect. Ice Beam going into Groudon. Precipice Blades gonna connect on at least one. Which ones will it be? Does connect on both of them. Kazi not opting for the double protect to optimize his chances of winning. Trick Room wouldn't have ended that turn, but, you know, maybe he could have gotten out, and so.
If you try to go for the double protect there, at least then you can also play for the.
If you're Jeremy,
the
right?
No, for yeah. No, for.
If you're Kazi, yeah.
Yeah.
So in this position, if I'm Jeremy, I'm going for a protect. I want to stall out my own Trick Room. He knows his Groudon's faster than the Kyogre. If he gets out of Trick Room, which he did this turn, he could go for a Fire Punch. Maybe if he felt like it, but he just goes for Precipice Blades. He believes Precipice Blades connects. It's gonna do almost enough damage, but it's gonna drop Kyogre into Fire Punch range, unless we see a misclick. Oh, and that's not even close to enough.
Yeah.
Unless we see a misclick, this game is definitely over.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, so Jeremy understands in that position that an Ice Beam from Kyogre would not be enough to kill Groudon, even with a critical hit. And he wants to reveal as little information about his Groudon set as possible. So, for what we know, he could still be Eruption Precipice Blades. Earth Power, but, you know.
I think for Ice Beam crit definitely could have knocked him out from that range. So, based on how much the first one did, absolutely.
I thought it did less than.
Did around 30, you had around 40% left.
I understand the play. I think, you know, it's fair enough. Especially considering the fact that both of these players have already secured their own top cut. You know, I think it's a very reasonable play to go for.
My question here is, I know Jeremy won last game. I'm just kind of questioning why he still didn't. Why would you not skill swap in that situation unless you really were certain that you could win without skill swap, so you could save it for a game 3 since he has not revealed it yet?
Yeah, I would. I don't know. If he didn't skill swap in that situation, I really wouldn't be predicting it now.
Yeah.
You know.
That would have been like an easy win right there. I don't think there's much that could happen besides like Fire Punch plus Ice Beam crits that could have like lost him the game from that position.
Maybe, but it would have been very, very difficult.
Yeah, if he skill swapped.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe Jeremy just playing the really next level information game. I'd be impressed. So going into this third game, Kazi, he won with Scizor. He lost with Thundurus. Yeah, what went wrong? What's he gonna change up?
I mean, once the Cresselia got in, he didn't have an immediate answer to it, and I'm kind of like struggling to see his answers to Trick Room. Besides, maybe that's Scizor. So maybe we see Scizor making a comeback in Game 3, whether it be in the front or in the back. I think it'd actually be better in the back in Game 3.
Going into the game, Serapis leading with the same thing. All 3 games, Kazi not revealing to us what we really want to know. What the 4th Pokemon is. My guess is Cresselia. So in this position, I'd only lead Groudon, especially if it was a physical Groudon, into what I expect to be a Kangaskhan Yveltal. If the Pokemon I could be leading would be either Kyogre or Cresselia. Those are Pokemon I don't want to lead. So, I don't know, this position feels... Got Kangaskhan speed ties.
Yeah, I think it'd be okay with him bringing Scizor in the back there, just because if you do realize that you do need it to beat Trick Room, then you need to bring it in the back so you don't lose it too early.
Yeah, and the Groudon's more for early pressure.
Yeah.
And the Kyogre is for cleaning up late game.
I think you can like lose the Groudon as long as he's able to take care of the Yveltal before it goes down.
Yeah. Which is why I think that he has Cresselia in the back, because he can reverse his own Trick Room. And, you know, like get the skill swaps off, and you need to win. You need to win your wars in order to win these games. So this position, you know, we're probably just gonna see. I don't even know, man. I don't play Kangaskhan because I can't do this. We're gonna see Jeremy Mega Evolve his own Kangaskhan, winning that speed tie, but not the important speed tie. Kazi does Mega Evolve his Kangaskhan. There is going to be no inner focus in this game. Where will the fake outs go? What is a double edge? What's power up punch? There's a protect coming out from the Yveltal. Predicting a fake out into that. Fake out into the Yveltal. And a power up punch again coming out from the Kangaskhan.
What did Groudon do?
What did Groudon do? I would expect. I don't know.
Fire punch Kang. That's what I expect if you're gonna fake out the Yveltal. You cover all your bases that way, and he does.
And he does fire punch the Kangaskhan. So strong play from Kazi. Doesn't work out exactly the way he wanted to, but now we have the double edge problem. +2 double edge, one-shots Groudon. +2 double edge, one-shots Kangaskhan.
+2 sucker punch from Kangaskhan. Oko's the other Kangaskhan.
What?
Yeah, that's a calc.
What?
So this could be a really big sucker punch turn, depending on like who goes first, who decides to target.
Yeah.
What.
So I think if I'm Kazi, I think the safest play here, if I believe in my Groudon and know my calcs, is to just sucker punch the Kang and rock slide, and that's all you can do. But
or even just fire punch.
Yeah, but I believe, dude. I believe. If he goes for fire punch, he takes a bit too much damage from the Yveltal, and he like starts having bad positioning problems in the mid game. But Groudon's just gonna switch out, predicting maybe the double sucker punch onto it into the Thundurus, not the Cresselia, and he sucker punches, and he gets the sucker punch.
I'm willing to bet that was a sucker punch speed tie.
Yeah, if I was I wouldn't have let that sucker punch go off if I was Jeremy. Well, and you couldn't fake out. So he had to be going for sucker punch onto Kang. And Kazi, Kazi knew his outs. And so we have Yveltal, Cresselia versus Kangaskhan Thundurus. And so the thing here is that Groudon's a very free switch-in. So what I might do is I might say, Cresselia's silly. I don't like it. No, Yveltal's just gonna stay in and take a Thunderbolt and die to Life Orb. Okay. Yeah. Wow, that is a bulky Cresselia. And so we do see the Yveltal going for the foul play onto the Kangaskhan, gonna knock that out.
Oh boy.
And this game just got a bit interesting. I think it's over. It's over.
So he sets up Trick Room. What does he bring in? He brings
Groudon.
Groudon.
Both bringing Groudon. And Cresselia has Skill Swap. It also has Oh no. Kazi, no.
Oh, he's gonna play right
He
into that skill
forgot.
swap. What?
That speed tier is reversed in terms of ability activation in Trick Room.
Oh. That's right, that Groudon has not primal reverted yet. Oh boy.
My heart.
I think any chance that he had is all but gone now.
Yeah. So now, you know, I mean, the question is whether, you know, Jeremy believes that Thundurus has taunt. But I think if I'm Jeremy, wait, it doesn't even matter because the sun.
I mean,
I think in this position what I do is I Ice Beam the Thundurus and I Precipice Blades. Because I think that's safe, you know. I don't think that loses to anything. And Thundurus does go for the Thunder Wave onto the Cresselia.
that's an out, I guess.
It's his only out, man. He's got to go for it. Will the Cresselia be... It
Wow.
is paralyzed! But there is the Precipice... Does the Precipice Blades hit?
Oh.
Oh my...
Um, So right away, there's there's one out that could like 100% win the game. Well, not 100%. 100%
I can win the game.
100%, 25% of the time.
Same thing.
So you can
25% of the time
you
it
can
works
switch
every
out
time.
to Kyogre and HP Water and hope that the
He doesn't though. Casselia's
it
paralyzed.
still paralyzes though.
Not going to be able to get a skill swap off. Precipice Blade's going to go into the Groudon. Is it going to be... Is not enough. He does target down the Cresselia with the Fire Punch. If he gets a double hit into the Cresselia, it throughout... Oh! Survives with 1 HP.
Well,
Citrus
Thunderbolt
Berry
being
coming
off.
out. Will Thunderbolt finish the job? Thunderbolt does go into the Cresselia. Going.
Wow.
Dude, Pokemon.
Pokemon just happened for sure.
They both cut already.
Yeah.
That made me sad. That made me really sad.
But are you ready to HP Water? Because you know he's going to do it.
He could be HP Ice.
He could be HP Ice. You're not wrong. I want to see an HP Water, though.
I mean, he's going for probably Scald. Scald's safe here.
So just protect HP Water.
No, he's not revealing it. He doesn't need to. Because his Kyogre does seem to be a relaxed Kyogre. That doesn't die to a crit P-Blades from any Groudon. He doesn't need to reveal this information. Everyone's watching him on stage. And we do see the Precipice Blades does connect with the Kyogre. Will it do any damage? It does not do a single point of damage. That is an exaggeration. It does at least a single point of damage. And Scald does go into the Groudon. 100% accurate.
You know, thinking back to Game 2 makes a lot more sense if you look at it in the scope, but this game doesn't matter for either of them since they both make cut. And Jeremy wanted to keep skill swap secret because this game does not, like...
Doesn't matter, and it's on stream right back there, so people are watching.
Can watch, everyone can see skill
see,
swap if
it's
he
right
uses
there.
it. So I definitely respect that from Jeremy's end.
If he thinks he can win without it, yeah, understandable. But you know, good. Wait, it was round. Is this round 5 or round 6? It was round 6. The bottom right. Yo, Jen. It says round 5 in the bottom right.